Yes, we're going to celebrate, and I am here, Carrie Flint, to help you, especially those teachers out there that have no curriculum, no equipment, and no idea how to teach those mandated minutes, as my title says. I'm here to help you, and especially it's not just for that classroom teacher, but any PE specialists out there as well. I am sharing some tips and strategies to how to get those minutes in, but also make it quality physical education for your students. So we're actually going to get up and move right away. Yes, I know I'm saying to do that, but please stand up and in right by your desk. You can do it. And all I want you to do is walk in place.
Walk like an Egyptian.
These walk again. Walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Supplies are running out, allow if you're still alive. 6 to 8 years to arrive, and if you follow them, maybe out tomorrow. But if the authors shine, you might as well be walking on the sun.
Okay, now I will let you know in person, my little warm up there is 4 minutes long. And as you could tell, it was walking, and I pulled up the word walk in my music library, and I queued it up to where it said walk. And in my instructions, so if you were in person or my students, what I instructed was every time the music changed, they were to change direction. So they were going clockwise around the basketball court. Hear the music change. Now they're going to go counterclockwise. And that was a 4-minute warm up. Easy, no equipment, but definitely use that music as motivating. But you're going to see why those 4 minutes are so valuable. And what I'm going to share with you right now is an idea I implemented at a school site because a principal asked me, what can we do with the entire school? So take a look. Okay, so let me set that stage once again. The principal came to me and asked, what could we do with our students? They were adopting a growth mindset in general curriculum for the entire school. So what I did is this is somewhat organized chaos, because what you have seen right here is actually 650 students walking every morning. And what I did, and I painted on the blacktop pathways. So directly what you're looking at are my first and second graders. Behind me, or you see that one student right there in the screen on this playground, were the fourth and fifth graders. I had TK and Kinder on the other side of the building looking directly ahead on their playground. And I had the third graders walking around the corridors or around the classrooms. So every grade level had a path to follow. And what I did is I created a 10-minute playlist every morning. So before the students ever went into the classroom, they were all lined up to get in the classroom. But instead of going directly into the classroom, we did all together a 10-minute walk. Now, this was so beneficial, as you'll see in my presentation today, getting oxygen to the brain, but it allowed for that little socialization. But those 10 minutes, those magical 10 minutes, think about it. 10 minutes times 5 is 50 minutes. For those that you may be aware of it, the law is 200 minutes every 10 days of school. Yes, these magical 10 minutes can go towards those mandated minutes. So this is what the presentation is giving you some tips and strategies. Be creative to get those minutes in, but also truly benefit from the wonderful getting them up and getting them moving. So a little bit about me. Yes, I have a lot of hats. But in California here, I've not only been a physical educator, general ed, as well as adapted, as you can see. I helped write the curriculum framework for the state of California. That is one of my free resources that I'm suggesting. It's a wonderful resource to help you teach, especially if your district has not gotten you a curriculum. So physical education framework is very helpful. I also have won an award, and I'm here so excited to say that I now have presented in 38 states, and I present at a variety of conferences, including CTA, to help those teachers. So that is what I'm sharing with you. In addition to this, I have taught in many, many schools. So I am sharing you my wealth of experience, not just 25 years plus as a physical educator, but I have been in the public setting, the private. I've taught preschool all the way up to college. I've been an itinerant teacher. So yes, I'm really well versed that every school is a little bit different, but I do know in general, California, we don't have a gym, especially at the elementary level. We have a blacktop, but we can make that work for you, not just for recess, but also for physical education. I now currently am teaching virtually adapted physical education, and I do that because I do travel the country to do presentations, so it gives me that flexibility. I teach adapted physical education. Now, finally, yes, I have taught classes the size of 180. I did have a co-teacher, so there were 2 of us. But for those that may not really believe that I do that, I have a photo.
Somebody
I've got proof.
line 'em all up, line 'em up, line 'em all up.
Now, I'm going to take about 30 seconds of my presentation to be on a soapbox. I absolutely know all of you would love to have a prep period. However, would you, if your child, would you want your own child in a class of 180? I'm not proud to say, but the truth is, I didn't know those students' names. I saw 1,000 students a day. Yes, we numbered the blacktop 1 to 180, and students were assigned numbers just as in for class management to do that. It is not the best situation. Yes, those classroom teachers got a prep period, and I know that you want that, but let's think of the kids. They deserve to have quality physical education. So with that in mind, there's other ways of getting that prep period, and realize let's put the kids first. So I know that you want it. Now, I also would love to say the school district still doesn't do this, but they still do. As well as I'm constantly asked to do PDs at other districts that do the grade level PE. So I know it still happens. And that's why I get on my soapbox and be an advocate for our kiddos to have quality physical education. And that's why I share and give you tips and strategies to help you teach physical education. Okay, I'm off my soapbox and we're moving on. Today's objectives. First and foremost, thank you for hanging in there for the warm-up. You'll understand why that's so valuable as we proceed. I am going to give you a short little video. It's only 3 minutes long, but it really states why physical education is so valuable for our students. I absolutely are going to address those mandated minutes and give some tips and strategies of how to get those in. I am going to touch on those standards and then throughout throw in some activities and strategies to help you to implement and show you to be creative. You can get those minutes in, but those are quality minutes. It's not recess. I'm not here talking about recess. I'm talking about physical education, standard-based physical education. Here's the video. Here we go.
Here we have two kids, a boy named Sanjay and a girl named April. Sanjay and April are kids just like you, although they are cartoons. I guess they're not exactly just like you now, are they? Maybe I'll give them jetpacks. Why not? You know what, maybe jetpacks are a bad idea. My bad. Now, we really want Sanjay and April to be happy kids. For that to happen, we want them to have fun being active and to learn to make healthy choices. But to do this, there are skills they have to learn first. Yeah, skills! Watch this. Sanjay, let's have you run a race. We'll draw a track here and give you a really tough opponent to run against. How about a cheetah? They're pretty fast. And let's put April on a baseball diamond. She can be playing against someone tough too. How about a team of elephants who use their trunks to hit the ball? Now, in order for Sanjay and April to get better at their activities, they have to learn some basic skills first. Think about it. If Sanjay hasn't learned how to run properly, he won't be able to run a race very well. And April won't really be ready to play baseball until she learns to catch. To be active and to have fun playing lots of games and sports, there are a lot of basic skills you should learn. Things like how to dodge, skip, jump, kick, overhand throw, catch, and run. If you learn skills like these, you'll end up using them in sports and physical activities, and you'll be confident playing them. This is called being physically literate. If you become physically literate and learn these basic skills, then you'll be able to try more activities, and activities are fun. If you can run, you can take part in soccer, basketball, or hiking. If you can throw, you can play baseball, cricket, or wheelchair bocce. If you can balance, you can do yoga, gymnastics, or even shark riding. Okay, you got me, I made shark riding up. But imagine? Now, not only do we want Sanjay and April to be active, we also want them to learn to make healthy choices. There are skills you have to learn for that too. But instead of running and catching, these are thinking and doing skills. Things like saying kind words, listening to each other, and knowing what you're feeling. Learning these help you make healthy decisions, like eating well, wearing your bike helmet, and making smart life choices. This is called health literacy. If you learn the skills of health literacy, you might choose to do fun activities like read a book, go outside and be active, or draw instead of only playing video games. And you may choose to eat more fruits and vegetables instead of mostly candy. I know, Mr. Cheetah, but being healthy is just as important for cheetahs as it is for kids. So if Sanjay and April can learn health literacy and physical literacy, they'll really be on the right track. Then Sanjay and April will feel good about participating in those activities. And they'll want to try more activities because they know they have the skills to be good at it. They'll also have the skills to make choices for their health and well-being. And in the end, they'll be active, happier, and healthier. Even if you take away their jetpacks. Sorry, guys.
So in that short little video, it highlights physical education is about skill development, and it is activities and to build those skills and foundation to be able to do a lot of other activities as students get older, or maybe do after school sports or be in athletics. But definitely what I want to emphasize is today is about physical education. Yes, recess and athletics and physical education, they have a common denominator of moving and being active, but each truly has a different objective. Today, I'm focusing on that word education. And the goal and purpose of physical education is this: to develop that physically literate individual to have the knowledge, skills, and confidence to enjoy a lifetime of healthful physical activity. So I will say this: if you're ready for me to give you games, it's not going to happen. Am I going to give you activities that kids enjoy? Yes. Develop skills? Yes. And again, sharing all the depth of my experience of all ages and all populations. Quite frankly, I've never had kids come up to me and say, I don't like your PE, Mrs. Flint. No, they have a great time. And my true objective is to make it a positive experience for all students at all levels and all abilities. I am that adapted physical educator in addition to being general ed. So adapting activities, it's a little tweak here that no matter what abilities that students do have, that they can improve. So it's not just the ones that are struggling, but even those advanced students, giving them that practice time to improve their goals. So let's dive in. So I've given you the value. Now what we have here in California is the Ed Code. This is the actual Ed Code, and this is the law. It requires 200 minutes of physical education every 10 days of school. This is for grades 1st through 6th. 7th through 12th is 400 minutes every 10 days of school. The reason I'm focusing on those 200 minutes is because in many cases, many of you, as well as why you're probably attending, is that you do not have a physical education teacher at your school site, or you may still need to provide some of these mandated minutes. Now, kinder is not, even though there's standards for kinder, it is not mandated, of course, because kindergarten is not mandated, so you can't mandate those minutes. Now, what I want to truly emphasize is this. This is the actual law: 200 minutes every 10 days of school. Create a schedule that works for you. It does not say 20 minutes a day. Could you do 20 minutes a day? Yes. Flip side of the coin, you could do 200 minutes in one day in those 10 days. I was in an IEP last year that I discovered a school district, and I am going to strongly say this is not appropriate. They're doing 90 minutes one day a week for the littles. This was for a 2nd grade class. Absolutely not appropriate. The longest I ever do a PE lesson is 30 minutes, but never 90 minutes. But yes, according to the law, you can do that. But I want you to keep in mind flexibility to get those 200 minutes in. I shared with you, we did that 10-minute walk in the morning. 10 times 5 is 50 minutes. That's 50 minutes in those 5 days. So there you go. Or even the 100 minutes in 10 days by doing that 10-minute walk. So I want to plant that seed. You have that ability to have flexibility. So now here are some tips on scheduling to get those 200 minutes. Incorporate those fitness minutes. That was my example of that walk. Okay. The other is, I also just shared this, lessons, especially for the little ones, should only be 20 to 30 minutes max. Even your upper elementary, I do not do over 30 minutes until they hit middle school. I do a jam-packed 30-minute lesson, but what I have observed in my 25 plus years, because I've been not only itinerant, but I've been in positions under grants where I've gone to observe. And over, there's a lot of wasted time and a lot of downtime in that 40 or 45-minute lesson. And I think we all know, and this is not a session on class management, that's another one that I do, but when kids are bored, when activities are done too long, we all know when they get bored, that's when they get off task, and that's when you have that negative behavior. Better to keep them on task for those 20 to 30 minutes, and you have great behavior and great engagement. multitask. We're going to do an activity in a little bit that not only is physical activity, not only is it great for the legs, you're working your quads and hamstrings, but happens to be a science lesson. So multitask in doing that. Be creative. I do a whole presentation on cross-curricular activities, how to bring your academic lessons to life. And I'll share with you, well, this activity actually is a PE standard in addition to getting them up and moving. So it's being creative. Absolutely, and it's in bright red here. Please don't do physical education at the end of the day. I've seen it far too often. Okay, everybody, pack up. Let's clean up for the day. Then we'll go out for PE. Well, when you're telling your students you're packing up your end of the day, you are setting an example and setting a mindset that it's the end of the day. Physical education is part of a student's education, and the research is there. The earlier that you do it, you're going to benefit it. They're going to have a better mindset. They're going to be ready to learn rather at the end of the day. So not only have you it really set the stage for the students to say it's the end of the day where it's just another free play, it's another recess, which I do see often, but you as a teacher, you're done. Okay, end of the day, we're packed up, we're going to go out and then the day is over. Absolutely. The earlier that you do it, the better for everybody. All right. Now, I just sort of talked about that, and I've got more that I'm going to emphasize why it stimulates that brain power. I also strongly will discourage you. No, it's not good to have an entire grade level out there. I know many feel like, oh, but there's 3 teachers. Yes, you also have 90 kids, and you also do not have 90 balls. You do not have all the appropriate equipment or space. Yes, I did 180 with a co-teacher. It was not quality physical education, and then this is my profession, and this is what I do. When you add numbers, you are now focusing on class management rather than teaching. It is managing. You need to realize that there are PE standards and a focus that you need to be teaching. Would you want 90 kids in your math class? No, the answer is no. I know it's no. I know it's no. I want you to embrace the idea much better one class at a time. You're able to teach, less distractions. Now, here's my next tip. Grade level. You want to keep everybody on the same page, which is awesome. You should. If room 1 is doing throwing and catching, room 2 should be doing throwing and catching as well. There should be consistency at your grade level. So here's saving time. One class comes up, sets up the equipment for the lesson. The next class comes out, the equipment's already there. Now your third class comes out, equipment's already there, but then that class will put the equipment away. So you can rotate that scheduling, but you have just saved tons of time, but everybody is doing the same activity, the same lesson, the same skills, the same standards. So it is grade level PE, but it's efficient. And quite frankly, it's more likely you have 30 balls, not 90. So many ways and strategies. Okay, we're going to move again. Yes, we are. So here we go. And what I want you to do is move your hands up high.
Hey, everybody. Let's stand up straight and tall.
Yeah, join the fun.
It's a crisscross exercise celebration. Now raise your arms above your head and crisscross one hand over the other hand.
That's it. Cross way up high. Good job. Now cross the hands to the middle. Keep it going. Now crisscross way down low.
Okay, let's crisscross those hands up high again. Now to the middle. All right, and way down low. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is step to the side and clap. Okay? You ready? Step to the side and clap. Step to the side and clap. Step to the side and clap. Step.
Okay, we're not going to do for the full 3 minutes, but that song is 3 minutes. But it is powerful. I got you up. So just to let you know, that's an activity you can do in the classroom. And not only just by having your students stand up, just by standing up, you've increased their focus 7%. Also, we were constantly crossing the midline. That song is Crisscross Celebration. It's all about crossing the midline. So you're engaging both sides of the brain, using the music, getting oxygen to the brain. Why is it so important? Here we have it.
Everyone knows that movement is good for your body. Your muscles grow bigger, your lungs breathe deeper, and your heart pumps easier. But what about your brain? Scientists have been studying the effects on movement of the mind for decades to answer this question, and have found that physical activity is just as beneficial for your brain as it is for your body. Regular physical activity helps you learn faster and think clearer. It helps maintain good mental health while reducing risk of mental illness. It enhances, improves, and protects your mind. Now, at first that may sound surprising. Instinctively, we assume brains are best when left at rest. But researchers have proven that this instinct is wrong and uncovered reasons why minds need movement. One key discovery has been that physical activity releases a protein in our brains called BDNF. BDNF has been called Miracle-Gro for the brain because it acts like a fertilizer, helping our brain grow, create new cells, and forge new connections. By increasing levels of BDNF, movement allows our brains to blossom. More and more benefits are discovered each day, like improved memory, enhanced focus, faster learning, heightened creativity, better problem-solving ability, and reduced risk of anxiety, depression, dementia, and cognitive decline. Movement isn't just great for our physical health, it's a necessity for our mental health. And just like our bodies need physical activity to grow stronger, our minds need it too. Brought to you by Participaction.
Okay, so we just did that little warm up and it was only a taste of it. But as I said, it's 3 minutes. But by getting them up and moving, you are helping them with their alertness and attention and motivation. So keep that in mind. I don't know if you've seen this slide in the physical education world. We're very familiar with it, but I love sharing this. Very specifically, these are the same exact 20 students. To the left, as you can see, the brain is sitting quietly. To the right, and I really want to emphasize here, this is after just a 20-minute walk. Not running, not doing a really super duper vigorous activity. It's literally getting them up and moving. And red is good. Red means brains on fire, ready to learn. Keep that in mind. Think about you're about to do a math test. You know what? Let's go out and walk for 10 minutes. It's going to make a huge difference. Maybe kids are nervous about that test, but getting them up and getting them moving, they're actually going to be ready and do better. I'm just sharing the benefits. And if you're not familiar, this is John Rady. He wrote this book, Spark. Tap into that, especially the first 2 chapters in this book, because it specifically talks about how they really did research with a school district in Naperville, Illinois, how they really embraced physical education, putting it and scheduling it in different parts of children's schedule, and how children did better in reading and in math by having physical education before those tougher subjects. Absolutely, you need to get them up and moving. We know that. So when you should do it, or kids when they're fidgeting, just get them up. As I said, just standing up is 7%. Okay, one more activity and then I'm going to do this, but here we go.
Stand up and step on your paper plate ice skates. And remember, you need to press each foot down hard.
Okay,
Bend your knees. Now slide forward, forward. One foot, the other foot. Now slide.
okay. So let's go back to good old Snoopy here. Again, we're not going to spend the whole 3 minutes. It's only a 3-minute song, but I'm giving you inexpensive alternatives. This, yes, the very cheapest plates go to the dollar store. We are sliding. That's a locomotor skill, sliding. But also, it is a great exercise. It is awesome for the legs because you are pressing down. So now you're doing exercise. You can emphasize with your students that we're exercising our quadriceps, our calves, and our hamstrings with this particular activity. But I also, one of my tips earlier was multitask. Right now, it's raining. I'm up in my cabin. It's snowing, ice skating. Do you teach about weather? A lot of you do with the littles. We can bring that lesson to life by let's do ice skating because we're talking about activities in the winter, what you can do. Also, older kids, science. My husband used to teach physics. He did this with his 11th graders because you're teaching friction. So it's bringing your lessons to life. You can do this in the classroom. It's cheap paper plates. You don't have equipment, but you are doing standards as well as being cross-curricular and getting them up and getting them moving. All right. With that said, we're not in person, but in person, we would have done that 4-minute warm up. We only did about a minute. We did the crisscross song that I introduced, but that is 3 minutes. That slide and glide, 3 minutes. This is one of my tips to get it in. 10 times 5 is 50 minutes. And I also did that morning walk at school. That was 10 minutes. These minutes count towards your 200 minutes. But not only do they count towards your physical education minutes, now you're tapping into the benefits of getting them up and moving. They're going to do better academically. John Rady, the author of the book of Spark that I just showed you, has stated as little as 10 minutes of exercise has a positive effect on your brain. All right, let's dive into some resources. I mentioned at the beginning, I'm one of the writers or contributors to this framework. It is available online. It does include the physical education standards, but what is most importantly is that it is going to give you ideas of how to teach. It is broken down per grade level. What are the skills we are focusing on? What can that kinder do? What can that 5th grader do? It is all written in there. It was written for you. So please download it. It is completely free. I also want to suggest to you, no matter what grade level you teach, please look at the grade below and please look at the grade above. This is going to truly give you the foundation of what you need to focus on, okay? I want you to know, dribbling, some of your littles, your 1st and 2nd graders can dribble a ball. Yes, they can. But you know what the standard is? Bounce and catch. Bounce and catch. Self-toss and catch a ball. That's what the little ones, it's not playing catch with another person yet. That's later. So take the time to do that. Now, with the PE standards, standard 1 is what you're very, very familiar with. It is the running, it is the throwing, it is the catching. It is when you think, many of us think of what is physical education. Well, they're out and doing. Yes. However, there is standard 2. And that is that knowledge, going back to what our objective is with physical education, to understand what are the 5 components of fitness, what are the locomotor skills, being able to list those things. What is the difference between a gallop and a slide? These are actual standards. Those are actually kinder standards that I'm bringing up right now. Well, 4th and 5th grade is when they learn about the components of fitness. So I need to clarify that. But this is important. So can physical education be done in the classroom? Yes. And honestly, that's where I would address standard 2, having them, because the standards in standard 2 are often explain, compare, identify. It's not the doing. Save the doing for outside, but understand physical education, those 200 minutes, it is not 200 minutes of activity. It is 200 minutes of physical education. Standard 3 is fitness, doing. That's the running, that's the push-ups, that's the sit-ups. Yes, standard 4. Not only standard 4 is learning about fitness, but it's also learning about your bones, your muscles, also about nutrition and calories in, calories out, things like that. That is standard 4. Standard 5, everybody, at that is the doing and knowing, but it is that psychological, sociological concept and principles, and quite honestly, it is social emotional learning. So all those lessons that you were doing for social emotional learning, that ties in, guys. It taps into that. So with that, I'm going to give you these free resources, okay? Health Moves Minds from Shape America has free lessons on social emotional learning, that from kinder to 12th grade. Open Phys Ed, same thing, kinder to 12th grade, free social emotional lessons, as well as many of them do incorporate some physical activity along with the concepts of social emotional. If your school has a class dojo, they have a great little videos for the little ones. So definitely tap into that as well. But standard 5 definitely addresses those social emotional. Now, a little bit more about those standards that I want to clarify here. Whatever grade level, start off with the verb. What that is the verb that is going to drive how you teach that lesson. So kindergarten, I love putting this up because this is the very first standard out of the entire physical education framework. For kinder, travel within a large group without bumping into others or falling while using locomotor skills. I think that is the most appropriate standard that that could have been written. So yes, you're having them move around and you're having them practice those locomotor skills. But now I want you to look at this. Remember standard 2, the knowledge, the concept. Remember I said it's not about doing. Look at the verb for standard 2. Identify those locomotor skills of walk, jog, run, hop, jump, slide. Oftentimes when I work with teachers, I will get, well, I'll have them skip. I go, I get that, but that's standard 1. This is identify. So some simple suggestions. You as a teacher, you will do a locomotor skill. Let's say you're skipping. You don't say that you're skipping, but they call out, Mrs. Flint's skipping, or you're galloping, or you can pair up your students where one does a locomotor skill and their partner needs to say, well, what locomotor skill? I will and do emphasize this particular standard because it's kinder level. I go around and I do a lot of presentations and a lot of demo lessons, and I was at a school that had 5th graders. And I did a warm-up and I asked my students, my 5th graders, I want you to slide around the basketball court. Some kids literally ran to the slide. Not joking. Now, when I demonstrated a slide, okay, they were able to do that locomotor skill. But what happened is that no one, and this was 5th grade, in kindergarten and up, no one taught them this skill has this name to it. A slide leads with your shoulder. A gallop leads with 2 shoulders moving forward. Also another standard, compare the difference between a slide and a gallop. They're similar, but they have differences. This makes a difference for your kids. All right, we're going to do a quick little activity. I'm here. I'm not able to see you, but follow along with me. If I raise my hand, I want you to raise your hand. And it goes like this. Okay, here we go. You're going to do what I do.
Gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a
Now, that's mirror, and obviously man in the mirror, I use the music behind it. This particular activity I've done with all grade levels, from kinder all the way up. It is partnering up your students. They're having hand-eye coordination. It is a great 1-minute warm-up or activity to do in the classroom. They learn to follow, they learn to lead, but also it helps them with reading and their peripheral vision because it's magic. It's like, how do you know to do what I'm doing? Great 1-minute activity. Here's another activity called Add One. All right, everybody, the next activity is called Add One. And I always start with kids just doing a move, but then you could eventually do this adding an exercise. But we're just going to show you add one move. So I'm going to make a move, and Andrea's going to copy and then add a move. Okay, so then it's my turn. I go up and that and that. Okay, well, we need some music here. Let's go. Here we go. Up, one. There you go. Now add. There we go. Oh, right. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. 3, 4. I went up. Okay, those two activities. You know what? We just hit some standards. At the kinder, participate as a leader and a follower during a physical activity. Grade 3, work in pairs or small groups to achieve an agreed upon goal, because what we have done is create a routine with their standards in 2nd grade, 5th grade, even 8th grade, that you are to have students work together and create a routine to music. So let's dance, a dance move. How do you do that? It's pretty simple. So don't stress out, because right now I'm just going to ask you, what is your dance move? Whatever your dance move is, you do it. Okay, so here's a simple activity. No equipment. You're going to create a dance. You put them in groups. You have them establish what their dance move is. Each student is going to do it at the count of 8. Their partners in their group are going to do it. And then the next person is going to do it. You have just created a dance. Now, here is an example that I put them in groups. And these are teachers at a conference, but please look. Orange, go! Okay, music, let them move. They learn from one another. And you know what? That was a grade 6 standard. Develop, refine, and demonstrate routines to music. See, think out of the box. Don't stress out about it. Be creative. You can do it. That's why I love sharing these little ideas, that they are doable, as well as another activity you can do inside. We've got our rainy day this week, but you are doing it. All right. Moving on. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I see my wheel. I see my wheel. I have no idea what happened. There we go. All right, now I'm just going to touch on some foundational skills. Remember I said I'm not here to teach any games. I'm here to emphasize what you are to be teaching. Locomotor, and I always describe to students and I teach them, it's how do you move your body from point A to point B, not on a bike or a plane or train, okay, or a car. How you move your body. You can walk, you can run, you can slide, skip, jump, gallop, hop, leaping, climbing. You are moving your body from one other place. Great songs out there.
Run in place with a smile on your face, pretending to go somewhere. Run in place and keep in your pace, hoping to get there. Run, 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 change, walking in place.
Skipping,
right. We're all going to pretend that we're riding on a horse. We're going to gallop.
We don't have a horse.
And slide. And if you guys don't know what a slide is, here we go. Watch.
Left side slide to the left.
Slide, slide,
Right side slide to the right.
slide, slide.
Left side slide.
So it's sliding. Now, tons of songs out there. And what I love about teaching with songs is that I never, ever, ever, I'll tell you this, I never line kids up on a basketball court and tell them to skip to the other end. Never do that. What I do is I'm on a basketball court and I have them move around. I go, you're practicing skipping while the song skipping is on. So no one is chasing one another. It's not a race. It is practicing the skill. And how long do you practice the skill? As long as the song is. So again, it's helping those that need that extra time. And for the more advanced kids, they know when the song is over, they're going to do something else. Again, keeping kids engaged. But it's important to give practice to be able to develop these skills. All right. Oh my goodness. I got the wheel again. There we go. Now, the other is I want you to think out of the box. We teach in California. Use what's on your playground. These are colorful. One researcher showed that a colorful playground is more engaging. So bring that color out. It's a great way to divide up kids. As a PE teacher, I'm on the blacktop. I have my groups 1 through 5 go to red and you're working on hopping and stride jump. On green, 6 through 10 or 6 through 12, I want you to be tossing your beanbag on there and add up the points. I now have incorporated math. So I not only have incorporated math, I've also worked on tossing for accuracy. Every single grade level has tossing for underhand toss as a standard. So I'm working on jumping. I'm working on tossing. And then, yes, this group, the yellow, you could actually be doing hopscotch. You could do that. Think out of the box, utilize your markings. It's a great way to divide up your kids. It's a great way to spread them out. But most importantly, each one of these markings can be a station that you are working on those skills. Another thing I need to footnote is and balancing. Balance on the line. Okay, the other thing is when you look at your PE standards, it does not say basketball. It does not say soccer. It does not say volleyball. It says dribble with your hands and with your feet. It is always focusing on the skill. It actually doesn't identify sports until high school. It's all about building those skills. Non-locomotor, bending, turning, and swinging. This one is balancing.
Stand on your toes and stretch up high. Stand on your toes and stretch up high. Stand on. A boom, 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 boom. A boom, 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 boom. You went to school to learn, girl. Things you never knew before. And I before E, except that the same. Why 2 plus 2 makes 4. Now, I'm gonna teach you all about love, yeah.
Okay, previous slide, bending, turning, twisting. What I queued up is a song from Greg and Steve. It's called That's the Way We Do It. It's great for the littles where literally you're stretching, you're bending, you're turning. The song tells you. Now, anybody, all grade levels, you have balancing in standards. Even with your upper grade, you're going to be with the partner, balance on 3 points other than your feet or your hands. It has points of touch on the ground. So they are doing partner stunts. Have them in the shape of the letters. Have kids pretend to be an A, a B, or whatever it may be, but you can do it individually, but with partners and in groups. And it does apply to those balancing Again, bringing your lessons to life. But even if you're older ones, this gives you an idea of how to tackle those balancing stunts with your upper grades. The next is manipulating. Again, what you see in the standards: throwing, catching, kicking, rolling, trapping. Paper, here we go. I have a piece of paper. I know I left there. I can toss, I can catch with a piece of paper. Okay. Yes, they can learn how to throw and catch with a rolled up paper ball. The other, deflated playground balls are great for kicking and catching. Be creative. Yes, I know you don't have equipment, but learning how to catch, it's catching any of those things. Another improvising is a thing called a sock ball. I use these sock balls. Yes, they're just rolled up socks. Minimal budget. And this is what I do. Made homemade equipment. So let me share with you a couple things. One, I love my scoops. These are the greatest things to do. But in addition to a scoop, to be able to catch with the ball, and they love it, is this. I attach a string, and this is called a yo-yo. And all you do, and I hope that got that in there, but it's a yo-yo, and all you do is I attached a wiffle ball to this. Homemade equipment. The bottom there is I took a little deflated ball and I made it into a medicine ball. I filled it with sand. I have made my own dice. Well, here we go. I made it out of tissue box, a tissue box. I filled it with grocery bags, obviously put the numbers on. I put clear plastic packing tape on it. It's firm. The kids love it. So on this one, I have hopping, can't really see there, hopping, jumping. You can make your own exercise dice. The kids absolutely love it. Okay. And I was sharing the video on how to do the scoops. Again, scoops I've done with preschool all the way up to college. You get to play catch with it. The kids absolutely love it. I also want to remind you need to be fit. Okay. Make fitness fun. Don't just tell them to run a lap. Absolutely incorporate music no matter what. Instead of saying go run a lap, I want you to put music on and they can run while the music is on. Everyone begins together and they end together. No longer waiting for kids to finish. That's a negative experience. Let kids move. Another, incorporate rock, paper, scissors in doing that. It's a great way. Please implement it in the classrooms. I present for Peaceful Playgrounds, and in their research, they discovered when students are taught rock, paper, scissors, not only outside on the playground, but also in the classroom, students will use rock, paper, scissors more than 50% of the time, independent of anybody, of anything. Another easy activity that I want to share with you is called the high five rock, paper, scissors. Get them up in the classroom, 1 minute activity. You have them do rock, paper, scissors. If they win, hand goes up. They mingle around the room. Another hand up. They do a high five, and then they do rock, paper, scissors. So it's a 1 minute getting them up and moving. If they lose, they still play as well. Their hand goes below their waist, and they find someone else that their hand is below their waist and do a low five and do rock, paper, scissors. So I do it also. It's one time. It's not 2 out of 3 unless it's a tie. I have them stand back to back. I do rock, paper, scissors, go. On go, they put out their symbol, turn and face each other. That's how I do it. Okay. The other, another activity, pairing them up. It says another PE activity. They do it. If they win, run around the lap of the basketball court, and their partner is doing squats. How many squats? However long it takes them to run around the basketball court. Round 2, if you win, you're doing lunges, and while the other person is doing the running the lap. In my bonus handout, I'll send you these screen slides so you can keep that in mind as an easy activity to do. Again, I do these activities for 1 minute. And again, remember those 10 minutes make a positive effect. I tapped in about using music. I will say this. I rarely have kids run laps. I have them create their own lap. How do I do that? Well, I certainly give them boundaries. Okay, we're on the basketball court or we are on the playground, but they have to stay off the grass. They can't go on the structure. I give them their set boundaries, but I say, go create your own lap. So the music is on. I say you can't chase anybody. No one should be following you. And what I have found by giving these kids that little bit of freedom, that little bit of choice, they're all running. They're not walking. They're not frustrating. They're on their own. It really is adjusting to meet their skill ability, their fitness ability, and what they feel comfortable with. No one is staring at them. It is just an easy tweak. Say, create your own lap. Now, fun activity, pump up the jam. They have the red is my medicine ball. Okay, just showing easy activities. All right, I am going so fast right now. My time is up. And honestly, I do this presentation. I do an all-day seminar. So I truly am just touching on things. But I absolutely want to say, number your students, use color groups. And the one thing I really want to pass on to you is this magical thing called Team Shake. You can use this in the classroom. It doesn't just have to be for PE. It is amazing. So here we have with Team Shake, it's $1.99 for the iPhone, 99 cents for Android. But the greatest thing with this app is this. You put in your students' names. You want them to be in groups. So all I do is scroll at the bottom that I want 4 teams. I literally do this. Can you see that? Yes. Instantly into teams. In my handout, I have a YouTube link. It is fabulous. If you don't want kids on the same team, you front load that information. It is a game changer, everybody. Team Shake is awesome. Skill development requires practice. Another activity that I do is group juggling. I do with all ages. They're just tossing this. So, with this very quickly, hand-eye coordination. This can be done with the volleyball, a basketball, a sock. I've done it with the softball here, with the littles, with the kinder. You're working on patterns. I use a stuffed animal. But they're working together to achieve a goal, but working on their hand-eye coordination. With my older students, I have them move around clockwise. So they're moving, tossing, and catching. Very much skills that are needed when they are doing those sport activities like basketball, soccer, and all of those things. So a great activity to doing that. The free resources I want to tap to you, absolutely, please download the California PE Framework. Also, go to Facebook. They have the PE Central group. PE teachers are saying amazing things. Please go to YouTube to the Phys Ed Zone. He is a great friend of mine, and I want to say, yes, I know there is Go Noodle, and Go Noodle is great, but I'm a physical educator, so I'm going to say tap into what is being created by PE teachers, and this is who I'm speaking about is, let's see.
Hi, welcome to the Phys Ed Zone. My name is Coach Gilardi. I'm excited to do another K-5 warm-up to the song The Dueling Banjos, which is 2 small guitars. The way it works is when the first guitar is being played, I will be doing movements, you'll be watching me, and then when the second guitar is being played, you will be copying what movement I did. So I will go first, then you will go. We don't go at the same time. Okay, let's try it. Ready? I go first. Now you go. Now me. Now you. Copy me. Now me.
Okay, so here's my great friend, and he's from New York. The reason I am sharing him, why not do a video, then go outside? You have your warm up. It's done by a PE teacher. He knows what he's doing. It's age appropriate. It's awesome. And to do that, then go outside. Free. And it's on the Fit As Zone. He's got so many. The last thing I want to say is not free, but I've been in this business for a long time. What has been creative, what I feel that it's the greatest for the non-physical educator, no matter what grade. Well, this is TK to third grade. It's a fundamental PE program. What it comes with are task cards, assessments, easy activities, and building that foundation. So I do recommend this because in my years, I feel this is the easiest teacher-friendly program out there. So I know you may have questions. I just touched on this. I love doing an all-day seminar. Get me to your school. All you need to do is to tell them, hey, we want a PE PD, and Carrie Flint will be there for you. But type in, let me know what you may have. And so this is how to get in touch with me. Whether you want to do a QR code or my email. Also, if you are interested more in learning about the fundamental program, that's that QR code. I truly appreciate the time to share, and I hope I gave you some strategies that you can implement tomorrow. And thank you so much. Again, reach out. I'm here to help. I have tons of resources. But honestly, I can get to your school. You just need to go to your principal and say, hey, we want a PD on physical education, and I am your girl. I am the PE teacher that loves to share. So thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.